Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, we're continuing to look at properties of exponents. In this video, we're going to look at the power of a power property and negative exponents. So starting out, let's look at the power of a power property. So here I have 2 squared cubed. So my property says that if I have a base raised to an exponent that is then raised to another exponent, I can multiply these. So using that property, this becomes, I have the base of 2 raised to the 2, then raised to the 3. So I should be able to multiply the 2 and the 3 by each other. So this should give me 2 to the 6, which is 64. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. All right, but let's think about this a little bit differently. So 2 squared. 2 squared means that I have 2 times 2. And saying that I have this cubed, looking at this as something cubed, this means I have 2 times 2, 3 times. So I have this quantity multiplied by itself 3 times. So that is, these are all just multiplication, so I can just multiply them. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2's. So that is 2 to the 6th, which is 64. Another way of thinking about this, 2 times 2 is 4 cubed, becomes 4 times 4 times 4, which is 64. So all 3 of these end up matching up. So this shows how our property actually works. So now I'm going to kind of take this into this next example here, and I'm going to operate the same way. So I'm actually going to use a little bit of this different base that I can distribute this exponent in because these things are being multiplied. So what this ends up giving me is I have x cubed times y to the 4th cubed. So now I have x cubed being raised to the 3rd power. That's going to give me x to the 3 times 3. Y to the 4th raised to the 3rd. That's going to give me y to the 4 times 3. So this will become x to the 9 times y to the 12. Looking at negative exponents now, a negative exponent means that I'm going to take the reciprocal. So one way of looking at this is like saying I have 2 to the 0 minus 3. So if I'm kind of working backwards from this 2 to the 0 minus 3, well, what does this remind me of? This reminds me of this division property, right? I have the the numerator and the denominator. So this becomes 2 to the 0 divided by 2 to the 3. 2 to the 0 is going to be equal to 1. Anything raised to the 0 is equal to 1. So this is just 1 over 2 cubed, which is 1 over 8. So when I have 2 to the negative 3, I can just rewrite this as 1 over 2 cubed, which is 1 over 8. Another thing to think about, if I have 1 over 2 to the negative 3, I'm just going to end up moving this up to the numerator, and this will become 2 cubed over 1, which is just 2 cubed, or 8. So 1 over 2 to the negative 3 is just 2 cubed. So a negative exponent means move the term between the numerator and the denominator. So let's look at this example over here. So I have 3 to the negative 2 times 1/2 to the negative 1 times x to the negative 4 divided by y to the negative 3. I have a lot of negative exponents here. I want to first deal with the negative portion of all of these. So what a negative exponent means is if it's in the numerator, it should be in the denominator. If it's in the denominator, it should be in the numerator. So 3 to the negative 2 should become 3 squared in the denominator. 1/2 to the negative 1 should become 1/2 in the denominator. X to the negative 4 should become x to the 4 in the denominator. So now I'm done moving things from the denominator. From the numerator to the denominator. Now I'm looking at the denominator, y to the negative 3. That needs to go to the numerator as y cubed. I have one more thing here. Now I have a fraction in the denominator. And if you remember, dividing by a fraction is like multiplying by the reciprocal. So 1/2 in the denominator is like 2 in the numerator. So this is going to become 2y cubed in the numerator divided by 9x to the 4th in the denominator. We always want to finish our problems with all positive exponents.